Hello once again, myself Dr. Harshini, Associate Professor SJBIT. This is 12th video on strategic management and it includes module 3 strategic formulation, and the contents included are I'll be discussing on corporate strategies, growth strategies, internal growth, external growth, integration, diversification, mergers, strategic alliances. Mainly the strategic alliances will be covered in this video. Alright, so what is strategic alliance and collaborative partnership? Well, alliances and partnerships are a key staple in business strategies for organizations large and small. But while many partnerships begin with big visions and aspirations, not all alliances turn out to be strategic. But in few months, I've seen various alliances being formed among top companies of the world. But what is strategic alliance? What are the types of strategic alliance and how can they be a boon or a burden to the company? And why are they now mandatory for success in today's marketplace? So let's look into it. Basically, strategic alliance and collaborative partnership means it aims at creating a win-win situation for all partners. The reasons for strategic alliance are it brings different competencies of partners together. In the age of changing technology and market force, all organizations cannot develop matching competencies. In many cases, new product development costs are quite high, so sometimes global alliances are formed to ease entry barriers and to create opportunities to learn either the new way of doing a thing or doing new thing. So there are different types of strategic alliances, which includes horizontal strategic alliance, vertical strategic alliance, intersectional alliances. Otherwise, there's one more classification which is done, which includes joint ventures, equity alliances, non-equity alliances. So we'll look into both of it. Let me just explain you about the division that is made. Wherein types of strategic alliances. Well, alliances are business relationships. As already told you, they are about who you know in business and like a personal network. They supplement your capabilities and weakness with strengths. Each alliance is a joint venture where two or more entities work together to achieve a shared goal while remaining separate and independent. A strategic alliance, goes a step further. Well, actual definition is it's a joint venture. I'm talking about strategic alliance. It is a joint venture that bolsters a core business strategy, creates a competitive advantage, and abates competitors from moving in on marketplace. It allows individual companies to achieve more together than they would have their own. So strategic alliance can take many different forms, but they often fall into three categories. As I told, this is one way of dividing or segregating strategic alliances as joint venture, equity alliance, and non-equity alliance. Well, joint ventures is a child company of two parent companies. It's maintained by sharing resources and equity with a binding agreement. Whether it's formed for a specific purpose or ongoing strategy, a joint venture has a clear objectives and profits are split between the two companies. For example, if I have to give, in 2016, Google's parent company Alphabet announced a joint venture with GlaxoSmithKline to research treating disease with electrical signals. The joint venture, Galvani Bioelectronics, has continued to grow, bringing on more partners to build devices and further research in the emerging field of bioelectronics. Second one being equity strategic alliance. An equity strategic alliance occurs when one company purchases equity in another business, or each business purchases equity in each company. An example for equity strategic alliance is Tesla's relationship with Panasonic. The relation began with $30 million investment from Panasonic to accelerate battery technology for electric vehicles and grew to include building lithium-ion battery plant in Nevada. And coming to non-equity strategic alliance, in a non-equity strategic alliance, organizations create an agreement to share resources without creating a separate entity or sharing equity. Non-equity alliances are often more loose and informal than a partnership involving equity. These make up the vast majority of business alliances. Taking equity sharing out of the equation can be a strategic advantage in research and development, production and sales and marketing. In the previously mentioned examples of Galvani Bioelectronics, there are many non-equity strategic alliances that have grown out of the original joint venture through Project Baseline. So this is connected ecosystem of organizations all working together to create more comprehensive, precise map of human health. So each of these types of alliances is selected based on the scope and need of the goal. Just like choosing partnership organization is mission critical, selecting right type of partnership can mean the success or failure of the project. Okay, so then talking about this division, that is horizontal strategic alliance, vertical strategic alliance, and intersectional strategic alliance. The basic idea behind formation of strategic alliance is to generate synergetic effect which helps in generating competitive advantage. This is based on idea that if you can't do a thing alone, join hands with others. It's for a specific task or for a specific period without having equity interest. It aims at creating a win-win situation for all partners. The reason for strategic alliance are it brings different competencies of partners together. In the age of changing technology and market force, all organizations cannot develop matching competencies. In many cases, new product development costs are quite high. In order to bear such costs, many organizations collaborate among themselves. So sometimes global alliances are formed with organizations of another country to ease entry barrier, as local organization may be well aware about the local business condition. So strategic alliances are formed to create opportunities to learn either the new way of doing things or doing new things. So as I told, types of strategic alliances includes horizontal strategic alliance. What is it? Well, which are formed by firms that are active in the same business area. That means that the partners in the alliance used to be competitors and work together in order to improve their position in the market and improve market power compared to other competitors. Research and development collaborations of enterprises in high-tech markets are typical horizontal alliances. Talking about vertical strategic alliances, which describes collaboration between a company and its upstream and downstream partners in the supply chain. That means a partnership between a company, its suppliers and distributors. Vertical alliances aims at intensifying and improving these relations and to enlarge the company's network to be able to offer lower prices. Especially, suppliers get involved in product design and distribution decisions. An example would be the close relation between car manufacturing and their suppliers. Intersectional alliances are partnerships where the involved firms are neither connected by a vertical chain nor work in the same business area, which means that they normally would not get in touch with each other and have totally different markets and know-hows. So talking about collaborative partners, well, collaboration is possible with minimum 2 partners and any number of partners with the core competencies, that is having a competitive skills, commitment and expertise background on these lines. There are essential qualifications that make the collaboration successful. A corporate level growth strategy in which 2 or more firms agree to share the costs, risks and benefits associated with pursuing new business opportunities. Example, Toyota Kirloskar, Maruti, Suzuki. And factors to be considered in choosing alliance partners includes drivers, partners, facilitators, components, effectiveness and market orientation. Well, drivers, what benefit are offered by collaboration? With respect to partners, which partners should be chosen? And does the external environment favor a partnership? And whether activities and process in the network. And talking about effectiveness, does the previous history of alliance generate good results? And then about market orientation, whether partners are harder to control and may not have the same commitment in the end user. Well, about collaborative partnership, let me take you to the deeper explanation. Good collaborative relationships are initially created by routine intersections between organizations, both on and off campus. It's through these interactions that potential partners learn about one another, identifying each other's expertise and interests, and begin to build the essential foundation of trust and respect for one another. It is also though these experienced organizations begin to identify potential candidates for partnership when the need for collaboration arises. So is there a need for collaboration? Okay, well, the following there are certain steps, okay, in building blocks, like a building block. Following building blocks takes you through the necessary steps to build effective and sustainable collaboration partnership. In that, the very first step is mergers and acquisitions. Okay, the first step is to determine the need and readiness. Well, is there a need for collaboration? That should be, there should be questions like asked, do we need other people or organization to achieve goal support? Does this need to require other on campus or off campus or external organization? What is the value added in partnership? Benefits that are gained in collaborating, partnership to be achieved. So all these need to be addressed. We have to check whether there is to determine the need and readiness. These questions should be answered. So is there already a collaboration elsewhere doing something else, or is there commitment within campus to support a partnership? So all these need to be addressed. Then second step is recruit the right people and organization. Alright, so gather all potential partners together for discussion about elements of the corporation. And then next step would be to assess resource needed. Here identify the skills and competencies needed to manage and support the collaboration. And then the next step would be determining structure of the collaborative partnership. Ensure that it is clearly there's a clarity among partners as to mission, values and principles that will guide the collaborative partners, and set out the process needed to manage and sustain the partnership. And next step would be developing a communication strategy, set up an effective communication plan between partners. And next step would be agree on and develop an action plan. So develop an action plan to meet goals, objectives of collaborative partnership, and review the objectives to determine if they are SMART C. That is, SMART C means if they are specific, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, achievable, whether it's relevant or whether it's timely attainable, and whether it can take up the challenge. SMART C, SMART plus C. The next step would be identifying risk factors for the collaboration. Here, make a list with partners so as to potentially risk to the collaboration. And the next step, create an open environment, identify factors which create and build trust. And the next step, last step, will be to celebrate the success. After all the hard work, we have to celebrate the success with the entire team involved in the collaboration. Collaborating accomplishments foster the great alliances that we have created, and also promote future success for the new and innovative partners. And all right, so okay, so now talking about this is done, mergers and acquisition. Well, a merger occurs when two or more organizations, usually of roughly similar size, combine to become one, through an exchange of stock or cash or both. Merger can take place in two different ways, that is acquisition and consolidation. Acquisition means it's the purchase of a firm that is considerably larger. The firm that acquires is called the acquiring firm, and the other the merging firm. Consolidation, if both firms dissolve their identity to create a new firm, it's called consolidation. The combining firms may join hands through a cooperative or hostile approach. A friendly merger takes place when both firms agree to combine their might in order to gain certain synergetic benefits like marketing synergy, operating synergy, investment synergy, management synergy. Alright, so marketing strategy means using common distribution channel, sales force, sales promotion. Operating synergy means better use of facilities. Investment synergy means better use of resource, as in the case of mergers of banks and financial institutions. Management synergy, using existing managerial talent in a judicious way. It results in a carefully negotiated acquisition of one firm by another. And talking about the hostile merger, better known as a takeover, refers to surprise attempt by one company to acquire control of another company against the will of the current management. So organizations are more likely to become takeover targets when their performance lags below potential, negatively affecting their price of their stock, but making them attractive targets for acquisition. And then comes the reasons for mergers. Reasons for merger: quick entry in the business. There's no gestation time and familiarity of the product or service to the market and customers. Faster growth rate, the volume of business can be raised rapidly with less risk, and you can come over competitors in certain cases. Ready utilities like production, marketing, distribution, research and development. Then coming to diversification advantages, if the acquiring company or merging company wants to diversify, they can take over the same product company and enter into the business with less time. Reduction in competitors and dependence, you can eliminate competitors and increase in market share, and you can enjoy ready market. Tax advantage, if the merged company possessing accumulated losses can be set off by the merger company. Then synergetic advantages, the complementary capabilities can be achieved in marketing, investments, operating, common management, and avoiding duplicating of managerial and other personnel. What are the pitfalls? All right, so talking about the international business level strategies, strategic alliance and joint venture. International business strategies are relevant in globalization of trade and commerce. Some companies choose to be involved on an international basis by operating in various countries, but limiting their involvement to importing, exporting, licensing and making strategic alliance. Well, exporting alone can significantly benefit even a small company. However, international joint ventures, a form of strategic alliance involving cooperative arrangements between business across borders, may be desirable even when resources for a direct investment are available. Well, international strategic alliance provides number of advantages to the firm. They can provide entry into global market, access to partners' knowledge about the firm's market, and risk sharing with the partner firm. They can work effectively when partners can learn from each other, when neither partner is large enough to function and all, and when both partners share common strategic goal but are not in direct competition. However, number of problems can arise from international joint venture, including disputes and lack of trust over proprietary knowledge, cultural difference between firms, and disputes over ways to share the costs and revenues associated with the partners. Well, these could be the few problems arising from international joint ventures. However, the number of problems can arise from international joint ventures like disputes, lack of trust over proprietary knowledge, cultural differences between firms. So yes, so these are few of the concepts which are covered: mergers, collaboration, alliances in this video. And let me just tell you few well, future success of organization counts on value, strategic alliance and forecasting. And because every industry is susceptible to disruption, and business leaders must look in unlikely places to get the edge. They need to keep their organization relevant and thriving. Blurring the lines between competitors and industry is the key to entering new markets and bringing new products and services to the market quickly. So there are certain advantages and disadvantages of strategic alliance. I'll just brief on that and then I'll wind up the video. Strategic alliances advantages being sharing resources and expertise. That is, strategic alliance should combine best both companies have to offer. This can be deeper understanding of product sales and marketing knowledge, or even just more hands-on deck of increased speed to market, new market penetration, expanded production, drive innovation. These are some of the advantages. Well, strategic alliance allow partners to scale quickly, build innovative solutions for their customers, enter new markets, and pool valuable expertise and resources, and in business environment that values speed and innovation, which is a game changer. Disadvantages being loss of control, increased liability are the basic disadvantages of strategic alliance. Loss of control means in an alliance both organizations must cede some control over how their business is run and perceived. Otherwise, it's difficult. Regarding increased liability, joint venture or equity strategic alliance, both companies are on the hook for the outcome. If something happens to stall production or create unhappy customers, both partners are at risk. So these are few of the disadvantages of strategic alliance. Well, I hope I'm clear with these concepts. We focused on a strategic alliance, collaborative strategic alliance, and we even discussed on the collaborative partnership. And hope it's clear. Next video I'll be covering Ansoff's matrix, stability strategies, retrenchment strategy, and that's it. That will that will be done with the module 4. The international business level strategy been already discussed in this video. Well, thank you so much for listening and understanding.